Learning Transformation Research Group at Virginia Tech has designed a new app, the Candy Factory, for assessing and supporting students' development of fractions concepts. The Candy Factory app works on the iPad and is available for free at iTunes. The Candy Factory app has 5 levels, each of which involves satisfying customer orders for candy of specified fractional sizes. These levels were designed to fit a hypothetical learning trajectory stemming from Les Steffi and John Olive's fractions project and 20 years of related research. At level 1, the customer order and the whole are partitioned so that students can rely on their part-whole schemes to satisfy the customer order. The part-whole scheme involves a numerical comparison between the number of pieces in the whole and how many of those pieces are contained in the fractional part. In this example, the student might slice the whole into 9 equal pieces and take 8 copies, reasoning that the customer order is 8 out of 9. This represents a common and basic understanding of fractions. However, this way of reasoning is limited, especially when considering improper fractions. After all, 9 out of 8 makes no sense. Beginning at level 2, partitions of the whole and the customer order are no longer visible. So, successful completion of tasks requires a more sophisticated way of operating, which Steffi and Olive refer to as the partitive unit fraction scheme. Students operating with this scheme can understand unit fractions, 1 over n, as a piece that fits into the whole n times. In this example, a student might think that the customer order fits into the whole 8 times. She might then partition the whole into 8 pieces by slicing it at intervals equal to the width of the customer order. But after seeing that 1/8 is too big, she can then adjust, realizing that more partitions produce smaller pieces, as in 1/9. Level 3 is like level 2, except now the customer order can be any proper fraction. This level assesses a generalization of the partitive unit fraction scheme, simply referred to as the partitive fraction scheme. Students operating with this scheme can coordinate actions of slicing and copying and imagine how those actions might produce the customer order as m copies of a 1 over n piece. After an initial guess of 1/3, such student can adjust the guess appropriately, using smaller pieces, fifths, and making 2 copies to produce 2/5. At level 4, improper fractions are introduced. Now, students have to coordinate actions of slicing and copying even when the pieces are copied beyond the whole. Steffi and Olive refer to this way of operating as the iterative fraction scheme because students need to maintain the relationship between the copied or iterated piece and the whole, even when it is iterated beyond the whole, since the whole is lost within the improper fraction. Students with an iterative fraction scheme can keep these relations between the unit fraction, the whole, and the improper fraction in mind as they choose the appropriate number of slices and copies to produce the customer order. Level 5 involves reasoning in the reverse of levels 3 and 4. Instead of being given a customer order in the whole, students are given a fraction of what the customer wanted and are challenged to produce the whole order from the given fractional part. Students operating with a reversible partitive fraction scheme can produce the whole from a given fraction of it by first slicing the given fractional part into unit fractional pieces. For example, 4/3 can be sliced into 4 1/3 pieces, which can be iterated 3 times to reproduce the whole. The 5 levels of Candy Factory represent 5 stages of development along a hypothetical learning trajectory for fractions. Each level provides opportunities for assessing students' ways of operating with and conceptualizing fractions. In fact, success at each level requires more and more sophisticated schemes and concepts.